All right. Cool. What's up, Isaac?
What's up, man? How are you guys?
We're good. We're doing
Good,
really
man.
good.
Good.
All right.
Oh, hi, Isaac.
Hey, what's up?
Wonderful to see you.
Yes, you as well. It's good to see you, everyone.
All right. Cool. We've got a pretty nice group today, and they just keep coming. So we'll just let them keep coming, and then we'll start. Very good. So everybody is here. Just so you guys know, if you guys just are joining us right now, we are recording this session. I'd like to be able to put this up on Facebook today and all our social media channels. So let's go ahead and start just by introductions, just real quick. Just if you guys can tell us what you do, who you are. I don't know if everybody knows everybody here. I think I know most of everybody joining us. So Justin, do you want to start with yourself?
Sure. My name is Justin. I work with Pete at Arrowhead Center. I'm the communication specialist. I kind of build the website and work with a lot of our design students and help create all the branding material we have.
Awesome. Thank you, Justin. Sorry, we got more people joining right now. All right, Reina, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
I am Reina Diaz, and I work over at Marketing and Communications. I'm a graphic designer there.
Awesome. Good deal. And let's go with Matt.
Morning. I'm Matt Burns. I'm the Department Chair for Arts at Doñana Community College.
Very cool. Thank you, Matt. And we have Southwest next.
Hello, my name is Anthony.
And I'm Bianca.
And we're the owners of Southwest Creative Company. We do photography, videography, web graphic, and social media management. It's nice to be here with everyone today.
Very good. Good to have you. All right, Dana.
Hello, I'm Dana Apodaca. I am the senior graphic designer at NMCO Media.
Very cool. Josh?
I'm Joshua White. I am the senior web developer at NMCO Media.
Awesome. Good to have you. Lamaya.
Hi, good morning. I'm Lamaya Vaughn, and I teach film production and other media formats at Doñana Community College.
Very good. Ellen.
Hi, I'm Ellen, and I work currently at Marketing Communications at NMSU. And in about four weeks or so, I am retiring.
Oh.
So I'm looking to start freelancing this summer.
Very cool.
Congratulations.
Very
cool. Thanks.
Awesome. Isaac.
Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Isaac. I am one of the owners of Palamora. We do commercial video and photography for businesses and also weddings as well.
Very good. Okay. Aaron.
Hey everybody, I'm Aaron Valenzuela.
Go out here.
Co-owners of Adam Baum Studio. I'm a tattoo artist and a freelance artist as well.
Very cool. All right. Thank you, Aaron. Tina.
Hi, good morning. My name is Christina Ballou. I'm the creative director and founder of NMCO Media. We provide graphic design, web development, and videography.
Very good. Thank you, Tina. And we have Laura next.
Hi, I am Laura. I'm a digital graphics student at DACC right now. I'm gonna graduate this coming May.
Very cool. Okay. And we have Ray.
Hi, good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Right now, I'm the graphic designer at Les Combs Family Vineyards. So I do everything from social media to some of their web development and just some POS artwork.
Awesome. Thank you, Ray. And we have Blanca next.
Hi, I'm Blanca. I work at the Arrowhead Center with Pete and Justin. Right now, I'm like one of the student designers. I'm just getting a lot of experience from there.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you. Okay, Tori.
Hey there, guys. I'm Tori Segura. I'm one of the video specialists and producer over at NMCO Media.
Thank you, Tori. Stephanie.
Hi, I'm Stephanie. I'm a student at NMSU. I work for Roundup and somewhat for Palomora.
Very good. And next we have Eddie. His screen name is Eddie Spaghetti. So you can see that down there.
Hi.
Go on, Eddie.
I think
you're
Sorry,
muted.
I'm having technical issues, as you can tell.
Look,
Good
we'll come
morning,
back to
everybody. Happy Friday.
Okay, good, good.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. My name is Eddie. I work with marketing and communications at NMSU. Currently doing a lot of web stuff.
Very
So
good.
Thank you all for inviting me.
Thank you, Eddie. All right,
Oh, back.
Havila.
Cool.
Havila.
Hi, I'm Havla. I'm also student E. I help out at Arrowhead Center as well with Pete. I work under Pete and Justin. Yeah.
Excellent.
I also am having technical issues with my camera.
That's okay. This is our first run at this, doing this with this many people, and we're all glad you could join us. So don't worry about the technical stuff. This is kind of new to everybody. So just wanted to discuss a few things today, and thank you guys for all introducing yourself. Did anybody not get introduced? Did I miss anybody? I think we're all good. Okay, good. So we'll be talking about our current creative industry. So have you guys noticed, is there anything that's working or not working right now for you guys? Or are there any concerns? What are you guys doing to get through the day? What are some of those, what are some things you guys are doing with clients or anything like that?
We're, us personally have been just kind of going through our own lineup of things and trying to do more kind of advertising for ourselves and just grabbing things that we've done in the past and kind of going through our portfolio and stuff and kind of refocusing a little bit of energy towards our own personal brand. And that's what we've been doing to get through this.
Yeah, I don't think anybody expected this.
Yeah, that's definitely where I'm at. I'm having a harder time than I thought I would working from home. I don't know. I find myself having to take more breaks because I get like creative block a lot faster here. I don't know if it's like the non-structuredness of it or not having like other creatives around to ask about stuff, but yeah, I'm having a harder time than I thought I would. But yeah, really what I've been doing is refocusing a lot of the stuff internally since client stuff has kind of slowed down.
Yeah, definitely. Get yourself, oh, go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say, I think for us, we're definitely trying to turn our attention to some of our existing clients and just nurturing those relationships and making sure that if there's anything that they need, that we're here for them. In terms of kind of working with the team, we have our base camp, and then on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we have our kind of Google meetup where we all like check in with each other like we're doing now. But yeah, it's definitely interesting to kind of work outside of the studio and try to maintain like creativity with everybody right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The other.
I was gonna say, I know myself and Anna, we've been staying busy at home, just trying to do more art commissions, reaching out to clients that were interested in our art before, and just letting them know, hey, now that we can actually tattoo you or see you in the shop, would definitely draw you some pictures if you want. And it's been pretty responsive,
Yeah, absolutely. Good. Yeah, it's definitely a different type of discovery, right? We're kind of forced into this, like, this is what we're doing now. And as far as your clients go, have they been pretty receptive? What's that been like as far as, are you guys doing Zoom meetings with them? Are you guys just doing phone calls? What's working?
It's been kind of a mixed bag for me. Some are like really responsive. They'll get back to you almost immediately because they're working from home too. And I think I have more meeting apps on my phone now than I ever really wanted.
Yeah, we all do now, huh? It's very weird. Yeah. Anybody else?
I honestly, I've been just calling out to my clients on the phone to let them know, that we're rescheduling and all that. But this is my first Zoom meeting, so if I mess up, guys, I apologize. But
No, you're all good. You're all good. Well, I know it was. Oh, go ahead, Justin. Were you gonna say something?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I noticed, like, with some of my freelance clients, I mean, phone calls, like, typically is what I usually use anyways, or email, because I prefer the written communication, just so I have it on record, just so I can, check it when I need to. But I've noticed, because it slows down the whole timeline with everything, just because it kind of disrupt their business plans for some of my clients. So it just kind of puts the brakes on everything. So
yeah,
we've kind of had the opposite with some of our clients. I feel like before, when they were in their kind of 9-to-5 office setting, it was hard to get them to kind of focus on our services and what we were providing for them. And now that they're at home, it's kind of like all of a sudden they're like, great, I have time to like discuss things with NMCO now. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. Some clients are dropping off, but some clients are more proactive too.
Yeah.
I, for one, have noticed that efficiency has increased along communications. Like for some reason, now that we dedicate a little bit more time to like writing emails and stuff, like communication has really become more effective. I've seen it's like things used to rely a lot on face-to-face meetings and approvals, and that tended to slow things down. And now I feel that, like, for us that we're communicating through emails, like, or Zoom meetings, like, things just get done. Like, okay, let's get to it. Let's go. All right, we know what to do. Like, I've noticed that, at least.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for us as well too, our clients definitely dropped off a lot because a lot of our clients at the time were small businesses and stuff. So I'm sure it's the same for NMCO as well too, and Southwest, and we've just been kind of just rolling with the punches, just kind of going day by day, trying to figure things out and stuff. But definitely spending some quality time with the family for sure. That was much needed for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. I've noticed the same thing. I get to see my kids every day, which, I mean, I saw them before, but now I get to appreciate being outside with them. I'll go and I'll take a break and just, I don't know, throw the football around or just be silly and goofy with them. And then you definitely appreciate teachers, and you're just like, wow, I mean, they got their hands full. I wouldn't consider myself a great teacher with my kids, but it's definitely challenging. It's a big balancing act. And then when you throw freelance in, like, if some of you, I think, probably have full-time gigs, and then you've got your freelance work that you're also doing, that's also challenging. Or your full-time students, and then you've got freelance work, or plus a part-time job. So all of that gets a little tricky. But I think these are skills that are going to be necessary for the future. And they're added skills that I think we all have kind of gained from this. It's before we were just kind of like, we were in our own. I didn't realize how much I had in a bubble before. Now I'm like, oh, now I really kind of see what everything's like. It's so different.
Peter, can you describe that bubble? What in a little more detail?
Yeah, I'm very routine based. So my routine, and I'm sure all of you guys are routine based too. So my bubble is my own, I guess, my own personal space. And now I have a lot of it. Maybe I have too much personal space. But before, I would get to work, and then we'd handle our meetings and everything else. And then by about 12:30, I go to the gym. And then by 1:30, I'm back, and then we're doing the rest of our work day. And then by 5:30 or so, 5:30, we're done, right? The day's over. And then you come back the next day. So it's a little bit of a balancing act as far as when does just making sure that you have, I don't want to say boundaries, but good, just a good.
That's a good word. Boundaries is a good word.
Yeah. I think just making sure that your own mental boundaries are okay, that you're okay. And I think connecting like this is beautiful. I think this is a really good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really nice to see people that I haven't seen in a while. So thank you for this.
Sure. Yeah.
I think it was really hard the first 4 weeks because we're going into our second month now, but structure, like you talked about, and I had such great structure with my work life, and all of a sudden I didn't have that. So I stopped working out because I did yoga 4 times a week during lunch. And I just kept on working. And all of a sudden it was 5 o'clock. So this week I've gotten much better. I've gotten like a 15-minute meditation tape that I'm doing now, breaking to do my exercises during the day. But it was really fascinating. And the Zoom, the reason I participated in this is because last night, a company I got laid off of 15 years ago in New York in Doubleday. Some of the people there decided, hey, let's do a Zoom meeting. And I saw 15 or 20 people I hadn't seen in 15 years, all creatives doing all different types of things. And it was so inspirational and so mentally helpful to see. So thank you for doing this, Peter. It's wonderful.
Thank you guys. You guys are making this happen. So yeah.
You're the one that set it up, amigo, so thanks.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, I did want to go into that more with you guys, because I think also for me, my first 3 weeks, I didn't even realize it was like 3 weeks gone by. I think it was like, I was like, oh, was that not just like 23 hours, like in total? And I think she's right. It does feel a lot like I could just keep working, you know, because I'm at home. So my home is my office now, which I'm grateful for, you know, to be able to, where there's so many millions of people that have been laid off where we're able to keep going. But I was reading online, there's like people that have been working on from home since before the pandemic. And they say that you have to like draw a line, like your work area, like there has to be like a closed door, like metaphorically or physically. There has to be a closed door. Like once you're done with work, you have to be done with it. Like you have to separate that line. And like some people even like said, like they have like different clothes that they get into for the day for their work office. And then they get out of that once it's time to be done with work. Or some people even start their day with like a 20-minute walk to get to work, to their workstation. And then they come back into their home and then they start work. But I was wondering if you guys had any other things of like, because with me, like I'm all about like lists like help me survive. Like they've gotten me back onto track. Like my 4th week here, I started showering again.
Good job, Tori.
Yeah, thank you. But meditation, I did try that. I should get back into that. I've never thought about doing like yoga during lunch. I've always just thought like that's like food time. But maybe like if you guys have any other ideas as well, I'd be open to discussing that.
I was going to say, I personally think it's really important to have like a space wherever you are at your home to make your office. Like I have my man cave, you know, where all my comics and all my toys are, and that's where I've been drawing all my commissions. But definitely like when I come in here, I try to come in here to work, and then I'll go to the living room to watch TV with my lady, you know, and hang out just to try and have that separation. Because yeah, I think if you let it go too long, you'll just work, you know. I mean, at least I know that's how I am. Like if I'm drawing or painting, it's easy to let those minutes and those hours just fly by. So I think it's really important to have like that separate space.
Yeah, I don't particularly enjoy freelancing. I did it for about 7 years before I started NMCO, and you know, it is hard having work be your home base, you know, and so I really thrive in like a team environment, especially, you know, like driving to work and I'm at work, and so it's definitely challenging. So once we kind of realized that we were going to have everybody work remotely, the first thing I told them was make sure you have your designated workspace, because that makes all the difference for me. I think is just knowing that you have like a spot and it feels like kind of official, you know?
Yeah. And I definitely I turn off my computer, like I try my best like at 5:30 every day, and that definitely does help me, because I'll keep running, I'll keep going and going, because like why not, you know, you're here. I think Tina was the one who like told me like 2 weeks ago. I was like clocking in like at 11 p.m. at night because I was like, you know what, I don't have anything to do. I might as well work.
Right.
And she was like, you should get on a schedule because health reasons, you know? I was like, oh, yeah, maybe.
I definitely miss having a little bit of the office chatter and having some people just like visit in and be like, oh, hey, this and that, you know, just okay. But I definitely miss that. I didn't think I would.
Yeah.
I miss you too, Eddie. We work together in the same space.
Yeah, I think that like office chatter, like it is your little tiny breaks throughout the day to get your mind mentally away from that for a moment. And, you know, we have our office jokester, Lucky. It can be a little annoying sometimes, but I'm realizing how much I really miss him coming into our space and like bugging us because I'm just sitting here in my little office space all day and I'm like, wow, I mean, I can hear my boyfriend in the other room, but he's doing fun things and, you know, like when Lucky would come in, it's 2 minutes of chatter and then you're like, okay, got to get back to work, you know? So I do miss those little office moments more than I thought I would.
Yeah, and I think for me, just me checking in with everybody, you know, I could just pop over to their desk and be like, hey, where are you at on this? Hey, where's that? You know, what's going on with that? And I feel like as somebody who's kind of overseeing a little bit of everything, I'm just like, I don't know what's happening. So totally trusting the team and then just, you know, maintaining communication on Basecamp is kind of important too right now. But I definitely miss the studio environment with everybody.
Yeah, I would prefer the inter-office relationship over constantly looking at Teams by Microsoft.
We've been using Slack a lot, and we were using Microsoft Teams, but then there were some issues that popped up after, but now we're on Slack. And so I guess finding that platform that you're comfortable with, and I'm hoping that this doesn't last for a whole lot longer. I like a lot everybody else, and I miss my team. I miss, you know, popping down to Justin's office and being like, hey, Justin, and we crack a couple jokes and come back and work. So
yeah,
I do miss those days. I think they were, and they're not, I shouldn't say days. It's not that it was that long ago. But it's definitely something that I don't take for granted now. Now I'm realizing like, man, but I mean, there's good and bad, right? We can look at the good and bad of this.
One of the good things I liked about the pings, is because just since our teams kind of split between those two buildings, it makes it a little easier since having to, you know, walk up. I mean, sometimes the walk's nice, but it makes it a little faster and a little more efficient, I think, to get, you know, to communicate with everybody. So.
Right. Yeah. Sorry, I keep taking screenshots of you guys because like our group is like grown. I don't know if you can see how many people we have on our screen. It's pretty incredible. Yeah, this is definitely it's interesting. Would you guys be open to more of these design hours doing them virtual like this? I think
absolutely.
Yes,
absolutely. Yeah, pretty cool, man.
Awesome. Yeah,
Human contact.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, we were talking the other day at work, and we had like a going away party for a coworker of ours, and we were saying like some of the things that we're doing. Like I have a couple neighbors that will talk to me, which is, you know, not like anybody won't talk to me, but I'm a talkative person. I'm very social. So when I saw my neighbor outside, when we talked for like an hour, and you're just like, man, I really value human interaction right now. Like, even if you go to the grocery store, you know, all decked out in all your gear and everything to be protected or whatever, if that's what you're doing, I try and make an extra effort just to talk to the sales clerk that's ringing us up or ringing me up. I don't go out with my family. We just one of us, but it's nice. It's nice to do. So I think a lot of you guys are also students too. Maybe half of, or maybe a few are students here. What's that been like, that transition going online?
Not good. It is so difficult since I'm an art student. All the studios are moved online as well as everything else. So I was in sculpture and we were supposed to be making a metal project right now. But now because of that, we have to use whatever we can find around the house to make a sculpture. And it is quite difficult to come up. It's very messy no matter what you use. And you have to keep your space. But whenever, like, I still live with my parents, so I don't really have much space.
Right.
So it's like very constricted, and a lot of that, like for my internship that I have, it's constant. I used to be able to go to my professor for my internship and always ask, hey, how does this look? Can you give me some information on it? Like, let's go over it. And she would edit it in front of me and I would learn a lot from her. But now I have to share my screen once a week. And she's like, tilt that up just a little bit. And it's really difficult. And I feel like I'm working more now because the second I get done with my schoolwork, because I would always go to school from 8 to 5. And that was my school day. And then I would go home and I would do work and I would do homework. Now I'm working from like around 10 when I wake up till like 2 a.m. when I go to bed because I'm finally done with what I need to do. The days are getting so much longer.
I think soon a lot of institutions are going to need that kind of input, because we're going to need to be making adjustments for precisely those situations, which yours might be such a common thing that we're going to, all these institutions, all these universities are going to need to hear about that. You know, because this is happening on a national scale. Everybody's going to need to make adjustments for those kind of things. Maybe asking for special permissions to go into the studio. I don't know. Who knows? But input is definitely going to be needed from official.
Well, especially with the studio aspect. I remember taking the sculpture class, and it's like I don't have a welder at home, but you have welders, at the studio, and like the carpentry tools, you're doing something, building something out of wood. Especially if you're a student. I remember, when I had my apartment, there's no space for anything, like that. Whether it's, especially like the big stuff. You might have room to make a drawing, maybe a painting,
but there could be a common ownership of these kind of things, and we take turns using them. Especially things like a welder. We don't need something like that every day. It could be common ownership, things like that.
They're thinking of that. The department was thinking of having it to where like 5 students would be allowed in at a time, but I don't think they've actually got that working yet.
Maybe with more, more letters, more communication, it might make things happen.
I think those, what is it, Chris's Creatives, when they have those maker spaces, that might be something, I don't know. I mean, they have to sanitize in between, like you said, let 5 people come in at a time for like an hour or 2 hours, and then sanitize in between. I don't know how they would do that, but it'd be something along the same lines, I would assume.
I know they're also working hard on I think like sewing masks up right now, and like making parts for like respirators, I believe, to sending them out to hospitals. But I'm sure that they could still schedule times, like an hour of like each day, or like a time periods throughout the week to allow students as well. That way you could have 5 students over here at the school and 5 students over here at Chris's Creatives. So it gives you guys more, more options with like certain protocols being followed, obviously. But I mean, there are more options. There are more ways to look at it.
Yeah. That's really great to know. Because we don't know how long this is going to last, and we're hoping it's not much longer, but we don't know.
Texas has moved to May 17th.
Oh, May 17th. Do you know what they were before?
The 30th of this month.
The 30th. Okay. And I think New York is the 15th or something of May as well. So everybody's kind of gravitating towards that. What advice, I know we have Matt here. Matt's joining us, which is awesome. We always love when Matt joins with us. What advice are you guys giving students right now that are about to graduate and that could use some guidance in their career path?
Oh my God, that's not a loaded question.
And Lamaya is also here too, so we also value Lamaya's input.
All right, it's just the problem is you're recording this, so yeah, I don't know. I mean, the advice for students is that we don't know. So the messages that we get are all kind of mixed and fairly vague right now from government, from administration. They just don't know. This is new to everybody. So we're trying to figure out how to make these things work. I think for students getting ready to graduate, I think an important thing to understand is the things that we're learning right now is to figure out balance in your life. Okay, we will be working at home for some time, and even if it's not for the next 6-8 months, the chances are something like this will happen again, and we need to be prepared for it. So I think that's the other part, is find balance, to be prepared, build those online and technical skills, and sort of multimedia skills. And I think that's important, because we might have to think of creative ways to solve our employment issues and our family issues and shopping and balancing all that stuff in our lives. So that's going to be important. I've been impressed how students, faculty, and staff have stepped up. That's been really pretty amazing to me, to see people do things like, I know personally, I was talking many times about, I've got to record some tutorial videos for my animation class, and I'll flip my classroom. I'll record videos of my assignments, post them a week ahead, and then students have a week to do those assignments, and then the class time would be more interactive. Okay, and I've been talking about that for a long time, and now I'm doing it because I have to do it. And so that's kind of cool, and I've seen more faculty do things like that too. That's it right now. I don't really have any other advice for new graduates as far as just make sure that those online work at home kind of skills are honed, and that you're the master of multiple platforms. A lot of the social media stuff is being comfortable with Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and all those things now are more essential than ever. And now Zoom being a big thing, and figuring out how to make it work and make it usable, because anybody can turn Zoom on, but can anybody make a Zoom meeting productive? That's kind of one of those things. And how do you manage those? And I've noticed that is some people are not good at managing Zoom meetings. Not you, Pete, you're awesome. And then some people are like real masters at it. They've got their screens set up. They've got files that they're shooting to people via email while they're still doing their Zoom meeting. They're busting people out into break rooms and getting them to work in break rooms and then coming back. It's really interactive and interesting to see how it happens. So yeah, that's it.
I think that's awesome advice. I think that's great advice, actually, because we have such a mixed group of designers and artists and filmmakers and creatives just in our group together. And some are getting ready to graduate, some are already working, some are freelance designers, some work full-time and freelance. Yeah, I think that's really, really great advice. Are there any freelance designers that are here today? Or artists that are being commissioned. That's kind of what I'm asking. So are there any artists that are joining us right now that are being commissioned on projects?
I definitely am. That's the way I've been staying busy this whole time, doing portrait drawings or drawing comic book blanks. Earlier, I was talking about how I would reach out to, clients that were always saying, I want a piece. Well, dude, I have the time now. Before I didn't, I had a really packed schedule. I'm about 2.5-3 months booked. So to do like little art pieces was really rare for me, or art commissions. And now that I do have the time, I'm just switching gears. It's like a pivot or a transition, or however you want to look at it, from moving from working on skin to just working on paper in whatever fashion. And thankfully, I'm super thankful, but it's been pretty good so far. So I'm hoping to just keep the pace.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you guys had some tragic stuff happen. Do you mind if I share that, Aaron?
Nah, not at all, man.
Or you can share it actually if you want.
Yeah, I mean, it was like a few weeks ago, we got our back door kicked in, and we got burglarized a little bit. The guy took some of our stuff, and it's always really violating, and it's not really cool. You put a lot of hard work into building a business, and then somebody wants to come and just take whatever they want from you. But at the same time, it was really positive, because as soon as people found out that we had been burglarized, everybody reached out and was asking how they could help. Our GoFundMe did really well for us, so it's been able to help us like make some moves, buy some more security, that kind of thing. And because of that, I think it's kind of put me into overdrive to make sure that once this is all done, however long it'll take, I'm ready to get back to work. I want to get back to work, but what I do for a living, I'm right next to you. There's no 6 foot, distance between us. I can't tattoo you from 6 feet away. So I like earlier, we were talking about how a lot of things are going to change. There's going to be a lot of change for me, in my industry, and the way things are approached and the way things are done. And, it's going to be cool. I'm anxious to see how it's going to happen. And I'm optimistic. I always try and put on my positive cap, even when the worst is going on. So right now, I hate that so many people are hurting, and so many people have been affected and or died from this. But my attitude toward it is, well, if I have to be at home, I'm going to make the best out of it. So I'm here. I'm in my little cave doing fun things I like to do, and I'm trying to keep people positive, because there has been not just my business. There's been a lot of businesses affected by burglaries or vandalism, and it's really easy to go down a rabbit hole, and that I know for artists, and we're talking to artists here, that could take your creative energy away from you really quick. That could really put you down a spiral, depending on the kind of mental stability you have. And I have good days and I have bad days, just like everybody else. And I try and focus on having good days. Like, that mantra of like, hey, I'm alive. I'm breathing. I got a roof over my head. I've got food in my stomach. I've got my lady with me. Like, I can't complain, not even a little bit.
Yeah, that's awesome. You mentioned pivoting. You guys, and I'd love to highlight everybody here. One thing we did as a family, if you guys do need any kind of like a mask or anything like that, I believe your girl.
Yeah, my fiance Anna E, she's a co-owner of the shop as well. She's been doing masks, making custom masks. She's been making them out of serape and different kind of fabrics that are really cool and unique to our area. They're 100% handmade. And so she's been really busy plugging away, and it's awesome, because seeing her being so busy and having that kind of not a distraction, but that task or that activity has really helped me stay on track. Like, okay, she's working, I need to work. You know what I mean? And that's kind of cool. I think this, reaching out over the Zoom and talking to people, maybe that could help us as well. Maybe for those people that don't have that in their specific place, maybe that'll help them just feel like, okay, hey, these guys are working, I can work too, type of thing. And my lady, she's crushing it, man. I'm trying to pick up the slack at the house now, because she's so busy. I'm like, okay, I'll wash the laundry and I'll clean, and I'll try and cook as much as possible, even though I'm terrible at it, so that she can make those masks. And yeah, if anybody wants one, please contact us. We'd be happy to take the order. She's making them order by order, so she's trucking along really well.
Yeah,
That's
one
awesome.
thing. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I said that's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey everybody.
Hi, Chris.
I wanted to also kind of build off of what Aaron was saying. Hey Aaron.
Hey, dude.
It's a really good way to look at how you can pivot your art and find a way to make money off of it at this time. And so Aaron has given us tons of great examples, and that's a really good way to think right now, is like, how can I pivot and how can I modify what I'm doing to meet customers and get revenue flowing. So my 2 cents.
Thanks, amiga.
No, I think that's really good. I mean, especially I think one of the advantages we have as creators is there's always a way for us to make our money and make something that people want, especially now when people need entertainment. They need something, to brighten up their day a little bit. So like one thing I know I did because I needed a little extra income, and I was already had the idea, but I had to sped up the process when all this stuff happened. Is I created an online store. So I was like creating prints and stuff. It's a print on demand type of service, or just canvas art. So people can start buying those. And I think it's especially in today's age, there with technology and the internet, is a perfect time to be a creator, because there's always a way to get your art in front of people, and there's more ways to get your art in front of people so people like can buy it. And I think there's so many different options for people out there. So
yeah,
that's a great point. I mean, think about how much time you're spending at your house now. It's a lot of time, and I just started noticing around my house, I'm like, man, I have a lot of empty walls. And maybe that's not a good thing for me, because I came from graffiti art, so my house could look totally different in a month from now. Maybe I quarantine the rest of the house and I just paint in a room or something. But I mean, there's some good that can come from this too. And I think like Justin and Tori and everybody's talked about, there's tapping into your creative side is definitely a good plus here. Let's see. As far as events that are coming up, Arrowhead Center has a lot. Everything is kind of going virtual now for the time being. And so what I'd like to do is just get your input today and kind of ask, like, what kinds of things, or what would you all like to learn about in our next meetup? Because I think these are really healthy to have, and I think we shouldn't just stop in April. I think it'd be good to do one in May, one in June, and then until we kind of get back to normal, we can get on our regular schedule. But I think these are really good and healthy for us. So what are some of the things you guys are thinking about? There are no bad answers. Just throw out some ideas.
Yeah, or questions or anything you're having trouble with right now. We can try to bring in experts and talk about it.
I guess like how people are talking about their ways to keep, to maintain a balance, yeah, what are some other ways to do that, or what are other people doing? Might be something that resonates.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I'd like to see something on collaboration virtually. It's just one thing to have somebody next to you in the office and you ask their opinion or ideas, stuff like that. And as far as the developer side of things, there's always the like Git collaboration, GitHub, Bitbucket, stuff like that. But it's a little different whenever you're working on a more visual project. It's one of the problems that I've been experiencing lately is remembering to reach out to my team and say, hey, I need input on this. So I guess, best practices for that would be something instructive, I guess.
Okay. I'm taking notes. I don't want to type and have you guys hear my keyboard going away. Yeah, I think these are great. What about like platforms, as far as like, team management platforms? We had a good suggestion earlier about that. So would that be something that you guys would all be interested in learning about, like Slack?
Yeah, I actually wrote down Slack ? Because like I said, I've never used Zoom, and I definitely have never heard of Slack. So that'd be cool to learn more about it.
I was also, there's probably other platforms for other things. I'm sure some of us could utilize Skillshare to learn things, or Skillshare probably to teach things, like to teach a class. I'm sure a few of us have those skills.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, it's funny because we never really thought about these things before. I mean, I know I didn't. I was like, no, we got our thing. We're good. And then all of a sudden, you know, you got a whole 180 that we're all doing, and they're really good these are good things to know. Let's see, is there any artists that you're interested in learning about? I think there's some really great local artists here in town, and I'm sure we could probably invite one or two to join us. I think that would be a lot of fun, and see what they're doing. And I love the collaborating virtually as well. Is there anything that we haven't touched on so far? I mean, we've hit film, we've hit fashion design, we've hit graphic design, we've hit architectural design. Are there any topics on that front that you guys would like to learn about?
I think right now, motion graphics are really proving how important they are. That might be something to cover.
Yeah, Justin just did some. Was someone saying something? Was it Josh?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Someone else saying?
Now, something that would be helpful would be, especially since everybody's gearing towards social media, something that has to do with how to create effects or filters on stuff. I know our group is probably going to start having to do that a lot more with the way everything's going on. So I think that would be something helpful to have.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very good. Okay.
One thing that might be helpful at this time is having to develop a brand awareness, like online. I think would be a good discussion to have.
Those are great.
Yeah, and I think for me, it's not necessarily like creative, but something along the lines of like team management and maybe leadership. I find whenever this was happening, I didn't really know like how to convey to the team just like, you know, what we should be doing. And I think that might be kind of helpful for some people that might be responsible for a team or working with other people.
Okay. Yeah, that would be great. And if you guys know anybody, and I know a few people that can help with this, but if you want to reach out, I'm totally open to, we are open at Arrowhead Center to any of your suggestions as well. So we're all in this together. And I think having your input is very, very helpful and beneficial. Okay. Anybody else? Lamaya, you've been quiet.
Oh, I was just making notes too. One thing that's become very significant to me is how to maintain my relationship with my students. And I think it's going to change the way universities and colleges try to woo their client, hook their client, because we saw a lot of students who just said, oh, forget it, I'm not even going to participate when we went completely online. And we don't have a way to contact some of those students because we don't have current phone numbers. They don't check their NMSU email. And so they're lost in space, missing in action. And that's a loss. For me personally, it's a loss I feel for the student because they chose to take the class for a reason, and they had already invested half a semester of work and time into it. So it really, for me, is a big paradigm shift of what are we offering these students and how meaningful is it really? And what are they getting for their tuition dollar?
Yeah.
It actually was quite terrifying the other week for me because I have to do, well, everyone has to do everything on a laptop, especially because I'm a graphic designer. So I can't use anyone else's laptop in my house. Mine is the only one who's powerful enough to work Adobe. My computer almost broke on me and I was basically screwed for the rest of the semester. I wouldn't be able to use computer science, which is Linux, because I run it off my computer as well. I was about to drop out of school because I had no way of actually doing school if that had happened.
Yeah, you're not
Yeah, that's scary. That's definitely scary. Yeah, I think those are all really good suggestions there. And obviously we won't tackle it all in one day, but we can start working on these topics. We'll see about maybe doing these monthly. I think that would be really good to do. Maybe we can have a speaker that we all just kind of listen to and tune in and ask questions, just like we usually did with our design hours. And then they can share screens with us, so we can have that option. I think that would be really nice to be able to do.
Could I wanted to add on kind of to that. Sorry, my dog is being annoying.
It's all right.
But something maybe that could evolve off of that is like, what are some old practices in the old world that we're realizing now that are obsolete, that like aren't going to work now while this is happening, or maybe even after this is happening? Like, are physical portfolios going to be necessary for graduates, or is everything really moving online? You know, maybe some other things like that might be interesting to cover.
Right. Yeah. I attended this, it was like a How Design conference a long time ago, and they were talking about how with package design, and that was my old route, maybe 6-7 years ago, when I was in El Paso, and it was a whole package design conference, and it was really interesting and great. But someone got up there and they were like, at some point, you're not going to care so much about what the package looks like anymore, what the design looks like on it's going to be about how can you use environmentally friendly materials, and if there's a way to do that and have it have your material still look good, and your design still look good. Sorry, my little boy's poking me in the back. And if there's a way to do that, that's what we're all kind of looking for in the future. Which is right now.
You know what, Peter, to kick off on that, I feel like now that we're relying more on internet orders and Amazon deliveries and stuff, we don't care about the packaging that much anymore. We already want the good, we just want it delivered to us.
Yep.
So we're not really looking at flashy packaging.
Yeah. Yeah, they're saying like less is more is what they were saying. And that was back in 2013. So, or actually 2014, I think, is when it happened. I mean, that was 6 years ago, and now look at it. I mean, you'll still have your packaging, but it's definitely, that's maybe an area to think about as well. We had maybe a few years ago when we first started these design hours, we had a really great speaker that came in, and he had worked on stuff for Lady Gaga, for Disney. I think it'd be great to bring him back and maybe see like what's changed, what's some advice that he could give us. So any ideas that you guys have? I think a lot more of us are definitely open to these online meetings now, and I bet you he'd probably come back. So if that's something that you guys would be open to hearing about too, I think that'd be fun.
I'd be way into hearing about that.
Okay. I'm going to make a note here.
Really interested in where we're going. We talk about life has changed. How are we going to be doing business, especially if we're very visual? Like we're for our clients, we want to show our ideas visually. How do we do that in a more virtual world? So where are we going? People keep saying it's changed. Well, I think having discussions on how we see things are changing and how to move forward would be really helpful.
Yeah, I agree. All right.
Isaac, who's your coworker today?
This is my kiddo. This is Aurora. Say hi.
Hi. Aurora.
Say what's up.
One thing we're doing at Arrowhead Center, we're doing some videos. Aaron's already done one, and just talking about how to stay positive, and I think NMCO is slated to do one as well. But we're just trying to get local businesses here in town about things that you guys are doing to stay positive and what's working right now, and what advice you have for other creatives and other small business owners. And it doesn't have to be a creative, but any kind of small business owner that's in the same situation as everyone else, some kind of positive message. So if you guys are interested in doing something like that, just to share some positivity, we'd love to get you guys up on social media and do some kind of a video. And you can record this with your phone if you want to do that. This is my little plug for this little campaign we have going on, but we're really excited about it. Aaron shared a great video with us, and so we'll hopefully have that out. Yeah, thank you for sharing.
Absolutely. I've never done anything like that before, so I'm just holding my phone, you know. Now I've got a little thing holding my iPad, and it's a lot more steady, but I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm going for it, man.
Yeah, that's all we're about, you know. It's just a genuine thing, right? We genuinely care about everybody. That's the main message, and that's something I've seen with all the departments across campus, you know, with all the small businesses here, business owners, everybody cares. I don't think there's anybody in this room or I would say this is a room. For me, it is.
Right. This virtual room.
Yeah, our virtual room. We all care about each other, right? We're all doing the same thing. We all have the same plan, and we want to make it out of this thing. So, yeah, I really appreciate your feedback. I think these are great ideas. So different than what we were planning for, you know, in the upcoming year. And this is a pivoting point for us. So this is really fun. And I thank you all for being here. We have maybe one more minute or so, and then we've got other meetings as well that are going on today. So I won't keep you guys. I know you guys are busy too. But thank you so much. I really, really appreciate everybody. So
thank you, Pete. We appreciate you, man. I think, you know, during this time, man, I think everybody just, you know, has to realize that a lot of people are in the same situation that you are, you know, and just to keep going forward and, you know, working together and stuff, you know, always, you know, referring each other and everything like that. And even just, you know, a quick little calls to check in on people, I think helps like a ton, you know, to a lot of people. So, you know, it's keeping that positivity, you know, in the community and in the creative space is like huge right now, man. So I appreciate everybody here for sure.
We appreciate you.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, good job, Peter. Looking forward to the next one.
This is all you guys. I'm here to listen. So we're all here. Thank you. Thank you all. Go ahead.
Thank you. I just want to share really fast. So we're currently working on a project called The Brighter Side, which all of our creatives in the studio are independently working on kind of their own content to kind of keep morale up. So if you guys want to check that out on our social media, I think they'll be releasing next week, but maybe some things that you guys can kind of identify with and again, just to kind of keep morale up. So
that'd be awesome. Can we share that once you guys put that out? Would you mind if we cross share that? And
yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, and Tina, if you want to share it in the women's group too, that would be awesome. I would really appreciate that.
Okay, I will do that. And thank you, Kristen, for everything that you're posting and sharing. It's been a really great resource for me personally. I know other people too.
Awesome. Thanks.
Thank you, Kristen. Awesome. Anybody else? We're right about 11 o'clock, but if there's any other comments, if not, you guys have an awesome weekend. Do something fun. Maybe we can talk about what we've done that's been fun over the last couple weeks or so when we meet again. So
that'd be cool.
Awesome.